one of the threats that the FBI has alerted our companies and the public to was the possibility of a hack and leak operation in the days or weeks leading up to this election.
The possibility of a hack and leak operation. Joining me now, the great Miranda Devine. I recommend you check out Devine online. Also, she's the author of the book you should read if you want to understand what's going on right now with this Hunter stuff laptop from hell. Miranda? Okay, I think people get confused about the time frame of everything. I was confused until you clarified on the show. So for those who missed it the first time, when did the FBI approach Facebook and Twitter about the Hunter Biden laptop story?
Hi, Jesse. Well, the FBI was having meetings throughout the lead up to the 2020 election every week with Twitter, with Facebook in San Francisco. And that was during those meetings, we know that they basically pre-bunked our story. Before it came out in October, they were telling Twitter to expect a hack and leak operation by state actors, meaning Russia, likely involving Hunter Biden, likely to happen in October. And of course, that was when our story came out, October 2020, our Hunter Biden laptop story, which implicated Joe Biden in the family influence peddling scheme and would have been very detrimental to his campaign.
Okay, Miranda, I have to ask, did they have some sort of a crystal ball at FBI headquarters I wasn't aware of? I guess maybe you should clarify for everybody, how would they possibly have known that you had a Hunter Biden story coming out?
Well, they were spying on Rudy Giuliani throughout 2020. The FBI had a covert surveillance warrant on him since about a month after he became President Trump's personal lawyer, going on for 2 years. And that encompassed the period when John Paul MacIsaac, the computer repair shop guy who gave the laptop to the FBI, he was emailing Rudy Giuliani because he was concerned that the FBI had buried it. And he sent in August of 2020 an email with chapter and verse about his concerns with what the material on the laptop about Ukraine in particular and national security problems that he saw that Joe Biden would have because of the millions of dollars that flowed through to his family in their influence peddling business overseas, which Joe Biden said he knew nothing about. And so the FBI would have had access to those emails from John Paul MacIsaac to Rudy Giuliani, and they also would have had access to my communications with Rudy Giuliani in October of 2020, in which they would have picked up that the New York Post was running a story and roughly when it would run. So the FBI knew what was going on. They also knew the laptop was genuine and not hacked material because they'd had it since December 2019. They knew that John Paul MacIsaac was a credible and honest man, and because they'd interviewed him and they'd taken the laptop from him. They knew that Rudy Giuliani would get this story out before the election, and they moved to make sure that as soon as it came out, it would be censored by big tech, and it was.
Miranda, I'm so unbelievably creeped out by the levels of corruption at federal law enforcement. Can we circle back to what you were talking about before? Weekly meetings. When did these weekly meetings start, and what was the justification for that? That's such an odd thing. Hey, we're going to have weekly meetings at Facebook. What's this all about?
Well, we know this from two sources at least. So most recently from the deposition given by FBI agent Elvis Chan to in that lawsuit that Republican attorneys general from both Missouri and Louisiana have brought against the Biden administration for exactly this sort of censorship collusion with big tech of various federal agencies, not just with the laptop, but also to suppress any dissenting voices about, the COVID vaccines or the lockdowns, or even criticism of the Biden administration's botched withdrawal from Afghanistan. So a very Orwellian operation, and this lawsuit is getting to the bottom of these First Amendment violations. And so last week on Tuesday, it was the turn of Elvis Chan, the FBI agent from San Francisco, who coordinated those weekly meetings. And he said, in his words, they were weekly meetings, but unlike Yoel Roth, who's the former Twitter integrity site integrity manager, who Yoel Roth wrote in a sworn declaration that at these weekly meetings, the FBI had said that there was going to be Hunter Biden material, that it was a hack and leak operation by state actors, aka Russians. So Yoel Roth from Twitter said that that's what the FBI warned them. But in his deposition last week, Elvis Chan didn't accord with that. He said he couldn't recall whether Hunter Biden was mentioned.
Couldn't recall. Yeah, I'm sure he can't recall. I'm sure he never took notes or anything like that. Okay, Elvis Chan sounds like a horrible human being. Are there other names at the FBI we should be aware of right now? Who are these names? Because I keep feeling like the same people keep popping up, Miranda.
Well, funny you should say that. I think one of the integral people is a man by the name of James Baker. James Baker was the top lawyer at the FBI. There you've got a photo of him. Throughout the Russia collusion scams, he was involved in everything from the, false Pfizer applications, from the Alpha Bank fiasco, the Steele dossier, you name it. James Baker signed off on it. So after he was forced out of the FBI because of these scandals, where does he pop up? He pops up at Twitter as Twitter's deputy top lawyer, deputy general counsel. He's still there. Strangely, Elon Musk got rid of most of the legal team, but he kept on James Baker, and you wonder why. And maybe the presence of James Baker explains why, even though Elon Musk said he was coming clean about the Twitter files, there was a curious omission, and that was any mention of the FBI's involvement, which we know occurred thanks to Yoel Roth. So maybe James Baker didn't want Elon Musk to let that material out. Maybe Elon Musk doesn't know that that material exists. Maybe he doesn't know about the FBI. He certainly should know now, because everyone's been just screaming blue murder since the Friday Twitter files, that there's a glaring omission. And Matt Taibbi, the Substack journalist who was deputized by Elon Musk to disseminate this information on Friday, the Twitter files, he made a very curious statement. He said, there's no evidence that I have been shown of any federal government involvement. Well, that's just not right. So Matt Taibbi just hasn't been shown that information. Why not? And he really should insist. Matt Taibbi has said on his Substack that he had to agree to certain conditions with Twitter, but leaving out the FBI's role should not be a condition that any journalist would ever agree to.
Frightening situation we have in this country right now. Miranda, we love you. Come back soon.
Thanks, Jesse.